And we should be live. G'day, Groovers. I'm just going to refresh. Oh, people are getting the message to come over to the Shitty Kitty Kitchen channel. Wicked. Wicked. I'm just putting YouTube on, so I'm going to be able to read chat. This is kind of tricky, guys. I'm going live from my phone up here and watching it on the YouTubes. Just trying to line the camera up a bit. Tricky, guys. I'm going live. Okay. Looks like we're good to go, I think. Fingers crossed. The party is here, Melbourne. No, it's over on the other channel, as you know. But hopefully people will click the link over in Traces of Nuts and come on over to the first ever live on the Shitty Kitty Kitchen channel. Woohoo! I'll just put live chat on. That will help. How's everybody doing on this lovely Sunday? Now, as always, I'm getting straight into it because tonight we're making a couple of things. First, though, we're going to make the easiest banana bread according to Donna. And I want to get that cracking because it's going to need to cook for an hour and 10 minutes. So we'll get the banana bread assembled and in the oven, and then we'll get on with making the other dish, the salmon. So the salmon dish was chosen by subs last week. And at the end of this live, we'll do the same thing, and you guys can pick a number of a page. Well, 3 we took last week. 3 options, and then you guys voted on what you wanted to do. So I hope everyone is well. And hi, Anne-Marie. I'll just turn this around so I can read it. The first thing we have to do is mash up 4 ripe bananas. Now, these are not as ripe as I had hoped. I did put them on the heater, on the top of the radiator a bit earlier, and a couple of them went very, very black on the skin, which is fine, but it didn't really make much difference to the banana itself. Just wash my hands. Now, this is a 1-bowl recipe, so I used to, when I made banana bread, I'd mash the banana in a little bowl first, but nope. We're doing 1 bowl tonight, so just mash them as good as you can. All good in your little hood, Mama. Your hood isn't that little, at least not in terms of humans. Mine is. I don't know where Sunny's gone. She's had her dinner already. I think she's like, oh, shit, she's talking in the kitchen for another couple of hours. I think she might have taken herself off to my bed. She's in a bad mood with me today. I wanted to give her a hug and she was not interested. So just mash them with a fork, but if you want to, you can also use a potato masher. It'll do the same job. In fact, it'll do it faster. Let's expedite proceedings, groovers. Yeah, she sounds very much like a cat. She is very much a cat. Biscuit thought she was a dog or a human. This little one knows she's a cat. So just scrape off the banana. So we need 4 bananas, or roughly 1.5 cups of mashed banana, but it's roughly 4 bananas. I'm just washing the potato masher because we're going to need to use that a little bit later on when we make mashed potato to go with the salmon. Hello, Ruth. How are you, gorgeous? Cool that people are gradually migrating over here. If the mods could just check Traces of Nuts from time to time, and if anyone's sitting over there chatting, let them know the party's over here, that would be awesome. Now, I've already set the oven to 180 degrees Celsius, or for those of you in Fahrenheit land, 350 degrees. Thank you, Mel. This is the first live on the Shitty Kitty Kitchen channel. Woohoo! I'm very excited with my 38 subscribers, but I know that you guys have all subscribed because you like the cooking stuff. So it's kind of cool, huh? So, yeah, the oven is set to 180 degrees Celsius or 350 Fahrenheit. we've just mashed up 4 bananas in the bowl. They don't have to be like super fine mashing. I actually like a little bit of chunk in my thingamajig. Got my banana bread. I haven't made this recipe before. As always, we're all guinea pigs together. Now we're going to add the other ingredients. And first up, we want half a cup of olive oil. Now, for those of you that don't like really strong olive oil, you can buy a light flavoured one. I'm using standard olive oil, but if you don't like a really strong olive oil flavour, go for the light. I was not going to drive to the next town to get light olive oil. I'm just using a fairly mid-range in sort of flavour olive oil that I use for everything. But again, if it's too strong a flavour for you, grab some of the lighter olive oil. Next, we're going to add 3 eggs. Just break them into the bowl. So far, it's very moist. Thank you, Stacey. Yes, my first live on this channel. It's a bit exciting. It's a bit exciting. Next up, we're going to add brown sugar. Now, brown sugar is this sugar, not raw sugar. It's the, the soft brown sugar. And we're going to need a cup and a half of this. Got all the good ingredients that cakes and banana loaves and things should have. And just a cup and a half of the brown sugar. Brown sugar. Now, the reason I decided to do banana bread is it's a really good snack for like to take in lunches, and I'll actually take it into work, the whole loaf, so that everyone's got banana bread as a snack for the week. So there's your first cup roughly, and then another half a cup. Brown sugar. I don't know why I'm singing that, but I really should stop. Okay, a cup and a half of brown sugar has gone into the mix. I'll just clean that up a bit. So how's everyone spending their weekends? What are you groovers all up to? Any YouTube goss? Did anyone get stuck on train tracks over the weekend? Next up, we want to add a cup and a half of self-raising flour. This is a bit full, so I'm just using the spoon till I can. Cup and a half. It's on the other side. Thought I better just check. Cup and a quarter. All right, ski. Cup and a half of self-raising flour. You don't need to sift it. It just goes straight in the bowl with everything else. Nice. Then we're going to add a teaspoon of vanilla extract. Now, extract is the legit stuff, but it's really expensive. If you don't want to buy vanilla extract, I actually bought this. It was like a new product, and they had it super cheap. But if you don't want to waste, well, not waste, because I do love pure vanilla, but vanilla essence is perfectly fine as well. Don't feel like you've got to bust the budget for vanilla extract because it is not cheap. This would have been about $10. I think because it was a, like an introductory offer, it was only like 2 for $10, but I think you'll pay about $10 for that little bottle. So Vanilla essence is fine. It's really just adding vanilla flavour. But if you do have extract in your kitchen, use it because it's yum yum. And lastly, we're going to put about a teaspoon of cinnamon. Try and work out the camera. Looking up at my phone, looking down at the screen. All your good comments are being eaten. Oh, no. Maybe the Shitty Kitty Kitchen, you know, it's got the new super hardcore comment gobbling mods going on. Oh, you've got a new video up tonight, cooking one. What did you make, Anne-Marie? Hey, Gail. New sub on here. Have been following your other channel for a while. Enjoy your cooking vids. Have tried a few. From Brizzy, Queensland. Well, welcome, Gail M. It's great to have you here. And I'm pretty excited to read that you're trying some of them out too. That's awesome. And yes, that's a great tip from Ruth. Another trick you can do, although I've only done it with caster sugar, but when you bake with caster sugar, quite often, again, they need vanilla. If you stick vanilla beans in the jar with the caster sugar, it'll give all of the caster sugar a vanilla flavour. That's another tip. But I don't know what vanilla, I wouldn't put a vanilla pod in my brown sugar because I use that for other things. I don't necessarily want the vanilla flavour. And a teaspoon of cinnamon. And that's it, guys. They're the ingredients. Now, Donna Hay never fails me. I've never had a bad Donna Hay anything. So fingers crossed. When she says this is the easiest banana bread, she speaks truth. Now, we just want to mix all of this up. Give it a good stir, especially make sure the eggs are broken. If you wanted to, you could have mixed it along the way. You could have mixed it when it was all the wet ingredients, like the oil, well, not the wet, but like when we put the oil and the sugar and stuff into the start, you could have mixed it then if you want to. I'm just showing you how easy it is by just mixing it all at the end. But that looks nicely mixed. We'll just pop that to the side, and we're just going to line our little loaf tin because it is a banana bread, so I'm using a little loaf tin. And we're just going to line it with some baking paper, or some of you guys refer to this as parchment paper. I'm not sponsored, by the way. And I'm just spraying a bit of a coconut oil spray just to help the paper stick a little bit to the tin. Cut off some paper that will hopefully fit. Line the tin like that. Now it is self-raising flour, so this is going to rise hopefully. It hasn't fully covered the sides, but it will be fine. It'll be fine. And if not, next time I'll do a bit of paper that way too. And just pour the mix into the tin. Gosh, to give you guys good angles, the angle I've got to do all of this on is a bit weird. How beautiful is my mixing bowl? It was my grandmother's and then my mum's. I love it. If, you know, if cooking channels had to show their 5 favourite things in their kitchen, this is one of mine. The second thing would be my KitchenAid. The third thing would be my blue Le Creuset pot. My fourth thing would be my lemon zester, believe it or not. Just pushing that out to the sides a bit. And I'm just going to grab a spatula to get the remainder of the cake mix. Actually, I couldn't do 5 favourite things. I love everything in my kitchen. Even Sunny when she's in it. And she's in it a lot. If I'm anywhere near the kitchen, she thinks there might be food for her, she's at my feet. like most animals are. Biscuit was the same. I kept thinking, oh, she's so cute. She just wants to hang out with me. But no, she's just an opportunist waiting for food. And that's it, guys. It was certainly easy to put it together. The oven is already at 180 degrees, so I'm going to chuck this fucker in the oven. And let's see what it looks like in an hour and a bit. Hey, Google, set a timer for an hour. Now, she does say 1 hour and 10 minutes or until cooked when tested with a skewer. And then you leave it in the tin for 5 minutes after it comes out of the oven and then pop it on a wire rack. But I'll do a skewer test at about an hour. Okay, what's happening in Chatteroony? Welcome, Gail, to the wonders of Tori's kitchen. Oh, 4 different dinner ideas on lasagna. Nice. Banana and blueberry muffins. Yum. You need a kitchen makeover, Mel. I like your kitchen. Although you and I are both looking at replacing our ovens, or you were saying, oh, the seal of your oven is terrible at the moment. I'm going to take myself an upgrade to a gas oven. Just give the bench a bit of a wipe down. Get the bowl out of the way. And we're going to get on with the savoury part of the proceedings. Now, in the event dinner's ready, hopefully should be ready well within the hour that the banana bread is cooking, I'll be able to do a taste test and everything. That's the plan anyway. Dry, move all dry. Very cold for you, Gail, in Brizzy. Oh, you've got some squishy bananas. Nice. A lot of recipes say to use frozen bananas and stuff, but no, I just grabbed some bananas. They weren't as ripe. I probably should have got them a couple of days ago when they're starting to turn a little bit. Oh, no, all your drawer fronts have fallen off. Oh, yeah, okay, well, you do need a makeover. Well, not you, your kitchen. So we're going to be next up making the Schützenhausen. The recipe is sitting gently on a little rack behind the camera. We're done with that. Extreme cooking. Oh, your oven died last week, Anne-Marie. Not good. So as some of you would know, we're going to be making this beautiful. Can I line it up without knocking the... It's a very... Yeah, I've got to get a heavier base on this camera thing, but we're making this beautiful salmon. And I decided to make my world-famous mashed potato. I'm going to start editing these videos down into just, the individual things that I've made. But I discovered today I can't download them onto my phone. I'm going to have to download them to my computer, and that means I've got to start practicing a bit more using the editor on my computer. I've almost nailed the editing on my phone, and it's like, oh, shit. But we'll get there. Oh, the semolina pudding, you grew up with it. It was really delicious, and it was really lovely the next day. I did ask in one of my lives whether or not I should freeze it, and did some Googling, and it was like, no, you pretty much should eat it the day you make it and the day after, and that's it. It's not a chuck in the freezer kind of thing. So, yeah. So what I've done before we went live, because it wouldn't have been very riveting for you guys, I've just peeled and chopped up some Dutch cream potatoes because we were doing a mash. But with mashed potato, use whatever spuds you like. So I've just salted some water and put the spuds in when it's cold. You bring them to the boil together. So I'm actually going to put them on because they take about 20 minutes. Here's some spuds I prepared earlier. Right, so that element is now on. They're cooking. The first thing we're going to do is make the little, and Donna's recipe with her salmon, she served a very simple, and she does do a lot of simple little baby spinach and dill salad, but with mashed potato, you've got to have veggies. So I'm going to be doing some frozen beans just out of the freezer as the other veggie with my dish. I love beans, green beans, and mashed potato, and with the salmon, it's going to be delicious. But first, we're going to make the dill pickled onions. You can use Google Photos and then sync to your phone. Oh, so when you download to Google Photos, oh, we might have to chat, Anne-Marie. We might have to chat. Like even to our lives and stuff. Your editing is on point. So I'm going to take your advice for sure. So I'm going to make a red onion pickle. Now this recipe is for 4 serves, but I'm only going to make 2. I don't need 4 salmon fillets for dinner. So anything that we're doing from now on, just double it. So like with the red onion pickle, if you're doing the 4 salmon fillets, you'd use 2. Although these are big mofos. Like as far as a red onion goes, these guys are big. That'd be great, Anne-Marie. I'll do that for sure. Any kind of sweets are never leftovers in my house. Oh, 24-year-old boy, no food. Yeah, for sure. You've got to live in garbage disposal. I have to sort of cook for, well, when Scotty starts coming up and helping video stuff, which will be great, his payment for being my little camera dude will be dinner. But yeah, there's, some things that I make, there's just no point in me making. I do freeze some things, but I'm not really a fan of frozen leftovers. My histamine issue, which makes me, like my histamine intolerance, which makes me quite breathy, frozen, like leftovers and stuff like that are really bad. Hey, yep, so what? Good to see you, Groover. So we're going to thinly slice, like I said, it says 2 red onions, although look at this one, it's quite pale now, the skin's come off it. It's not going to be quite as pretty as Donna's, but you're going to thinly slice it. Just cut it in as thin as you can. And I'm just going to slice these little bits up first. It's not very pink at all. It's the whitest red onion I've seen in a long time. I'll just slice through them so you don't have big circles of onion that you choke on, yeah? We're going to grab a bowl. I like tossing stuff around a lot, so I always put things in a bigger bowl than they probably need. But chuck the onion into the bowl. Now, some of you might remember, actually, if I do this, I'm looking at my phone to try and get the, there we go. Some of you might remember from last weekend, I ended up with 2 boiled lemons because I used the zest of the lemons. So we're going to use up the lemon today for the lemon juice. The other one I used during the week. And we want to have about half a cup of lemon juice if you're using the 2 onions, or a quarter of a cup. But because this onion was quite big, to me, I think we'll just go with the half a cup. Because it's actually the lemon juice that's going to pickle it. There's no vinegar. If you're expecting vinegar, there is no vinegar. just get some of those pips out. How's everyone's weekend been? Has anyone done anything exciting? I am a master tosser. You call them salad onions, girl? Yeah, they're yummy. I love red onions too, or Spanish onions, they get called. And I think they're just so pretty, but these ones are quite pale. It's still going to taste amazing, but it's not going to look as pretty or as dramatic as Donna's did. That is seriously the whitest red onion I've ever cut up in my life. And I've cut up quite a few. So half a cup of lemon juice. At the moment, that's about 3 tablespoons worth. Half a lemon. We're going to do the whole lemon. Use up the lemon. You don't need to measure within an inch of its life when you're doing things like a pickle, because at the end of the day, it's just a juice that it's going to pickle, and you're going to pull the onions out when you garnish the salmon with them. And into the compost bowl. If we were making the little salmon and dill salad that she's made in her book, you actually drizzle some of this juice over as a salad dressing. All right, so we're just going to chuck all the lemon juice in there. Oh, I do. No, don't. I've got heaps of tiny strainers. Oh, because a tiny strainer. I am not devoid of tiny strainers. I have many, and that's just 3. There's probably some more too. But thank you, Melma. That's super sweet. I just picked them out with a spoon. But hey, Andrew Shearer, how are you doing? Yes, I have a tiny, hold me closer, tiny strainer. I have them. I just didn't think to use them, but I will remember them in future. How are you, Andrew Shearer? Remember me. That sounds ominous. Remember me. Do we have some CD history or what? I'm just going to bring my little spoony thing, measuring spoon. Andrew found his way here. Good boy. Is that your Andrew? Or was he just over in chat on his own on the other channel? From the other channel. Awesome. I was going to say, you wouldn't want their name out there. Now, we're going to put in, I'm only going to put a tablespoon of caster sugar, but again, if you were making it with 2 onions, put in 2 tablespoons of caster sugar. This is why I don't put vanilla beans, or I don't have any vanilla beans in this caster sugar, because I don't want the flavour of vanilla in my pickle. Ruth, look at her. She's, I remember you. So I'm just putting in a tablespoon of caster sugar. Now, the next ingredient is dill. And I couldn't get any dill. And I went through all my frozen herbs. Unfortunately, I did save this tiny, unfortunate these little remnants of dill last week. I was like, oh, I'll save that little bit for something else. Well, this is the something else. I did actually buy some dried dill as well. You can always, don't freak out if you can't get fresh herbs or if you're not able to grow them. That looks like your pot of sugar, Ruth. You keep your sugar in jars. I keep everything in my pantries in those Moccona coffee jars. The Andes, and I collected them for a few years, and yeah, my pantry's just all those jars, which people say it's a pain because you have to pull things out to find stuff, but I kind of know where everything is. I've got all my baking stuff on one level. Don't have to pull that much shit out to find it. Now, this recipe says half a cup, and we're not going to have half a cup, so that's why I grabbed the dried dill as well. And I'll just chop this up a little bit. It is frozen, but it's going to defrost when it's in the pickle. Fresh would have been nicer, for sure. But necessity is the mother of invention. So that was a lemon pip because I didn't use Mel's strainer idea. Hey, Ivor rocked up right as I thought she's going to say, put the tea towel under your board. It's the board is the problem, although this tea towel is hilarious. My godcat, Kevin McTurd, gave me this. I don't know which way it'll go for you guys to be able to read it. Big fat cat with a beer, catnip, and they're not Doritos, but Doringos. I love you just the way I am. But yeah, this chopping board is so bent. And Ivor was like, put a tea towel on it. And I was like, well, it's actually the chopping board. And then the next time I used it, I did put a tea towel, and lo and behold, it's stable. Now it's the little one that's flying all over the place. All right, so we're just going to put the dill in that bowl as well. I'll bring that back over. And like I said, it's not quite a quarter of a cup, but the quarter of a cup measurement is for double the ingredients. I'm happy with that amount. But you can also use dried dill. If you can't get fresh herbs, there's nothing wrong with using the dried stuff. Nothing wrong at all. And lastly, we're just going to put in some salt. And some cracked black pepper. And season to taste. Like, you put in whatever you think is good for you. I'm all for salt and pepper. You might not be, and that's fine. Just don't not use any. Unseasoned food is terrible. It really is. Hey, Aussie is back. Every night when I go to my bedroom, I think of you, Aussie. People will be like, ooh, that's a weird comment. It's the lamps. They still take my breath away. They're so much dimmer. The light in there is a much dimmer light than my previous one, and I love it. I'm like, why did I have those bloody glary as fuck lights before? I mean, they didn't seem glary at the time, but now I'm like, wow, this is all honey coloured and whatever. So we just give a pickled onion a toss, and then might be a bit small. Try it. I'm just going to put it into a smaller bowl. Just the bit that we're going to use tonight with some of the pickling juice. In fact, all of it. And I'm just going to leave that. So, yeah, you definitely could have doubled the ingredients with an onion that big. So there's our little onion pickle, and that will continue to pickle and marinate and turn into tasty deliciousness by the time the salmon is cooked. That's going to be sitting on top of it. Now, it's nowhere near as pink as the one in Donna Hayes' picture, unfortunately, but that's just the way that onion came out. So that can just sit there and do its own thing, right? I'm trying to line this up, looking up at my phone, which is halfway up to the ceiling. Thinking of you in the bedroom. I know. Ooh la la. Okay, let's now start working on the things we're going to do to our fish. Now, the potatoes have come up to the boil for the spuds. So everything's happening over on the stove top, which is fabulous. Next, we're going to make a rub for the salmon. a spicy sort of, is it really a rub? Is that the right word? It's kind of like a sprinkle. It's a spicy sprinkle. That's what I'm going to call it. So, measuring spoons to the ready. I'll actually make the full amount of this sprinkle because I'm not doing half teaspoon measurements. That's ridiculous. First up, we want to put in a teaspoon of chili flakes. These little tops on your spices come off so you can spoon out measurements. People that try to sprinkle into a teaspoon or whatever will be like, oh my God, I've been doing it wrong all this time. Little tip for you there. We are going to add a teaspoon of sea salt flakes. From the Salt Pig, sea salt, teaspoon of that. Thank you very much. Next, we're going to put 2 teaspoons of sesame seeds. Oh, I took the lid off and was about to tilt it. That would have gone friggin' everywhere. I'm not sponsored. I'm just showing things because somebody said they like seeing these things. Illy's ring light. Oh, I still haven't watched Illy's video. Oh, my God. Right, I'm doing that before bed. I don't know how long Mel and I have been chatting since that link was posted. I might have to scroll up a bit, but I'm so going to watch that. Yes, salmon's delish. Australia has salt and teaspoons. We do. And only this month we got clothes and the internet. Mr. Boot. Mr. Boot. I actually know a Mr. Boot, weirdly. Like legit. It's a Dutch name. And lastly, we want to add a teaspoon of dried mint. See, I told you. Mint leaves, like dried herbs, are fine, and you want dried herbs on a spicy sprinkle to go on top of fish because fresh mint, it wouldn't stick to the fish. It'd just go everywhere. It'd end up burnt. So, oh God, that smells good. I love mint. So yes, a teaspoon of dried mint. Now again, I haven't made this dish before. We're all guinea pigs together. Just give that a little bit of a mix. And that's what it looks like. Kind of colourful, guys. Bits of orange and red and green. It's quite pretty. Tag you're it. Just in time for food. Yeah, we say herb properly. I don't like the way Americans say herb. Put the H back. I need a drink. Cheers, everyone. I'm drinking water with ice because I'm a lush on a Sunday night. The olive oil is coming, Mr. Boot. That goes on. Master Boot. It's getting worse. Mr. Boot, that goes on the fish in a minute. You could use fresh herbs, but generally speaking, these are going to get turned onto a really hot pan. So dried is much better for a spice rub to put on top of any kind of fish. I do make a lot of dishes with fresh herbs and meat and fish and stuff like that, but this is really a spice mix. It's kind of like a dukkha or a... But yeah, I mean, you could, but if you can do the dry, it's going to stick to the fish a lot better. Herb. Exactly, Grandma Ducky. Herb. You guys say spanner. No, we say wrench. I know about the olive oil. Yeah, exactly. Herbs are what you put in papers. Exactly, Ruth. I know all about the mouth lubricants. I don't say spanner. That seems to be an English thing. Bloody armchair detective calls his wrenches spanners. I say wrench. In fact, when I was first added to a mod crew back in 2018, we were called the wrench crew. And sometimes if we felt cheeky, we were the wench crew. I know, guys, calm down. You're in the presence of great humour and wit. All right, the spuds are coming along nicely. They've got another 10 minutes to go, I reckon. Now, bring on the salmon. Guys, salmon is a bit contentious in Australia these days because of salmon farms. I do my research. I know that salmon farms are trying to be more ethical. I wish they would move the farms further offshore, but because of transporting staff out in boats and stuff, but I reckon they should actually build like oil rigs and have the salmon farms on them further out in the ocean. But I just can't give it up. I'm aware and I do care, but salmon is my favourite. So, yes. Thank you, salmon, for giving your life. Sorry that your farm is polluting our beaches. I met Mr. Boot in Vinnie G's. I won't hold it against you. People go to lie. I wouldn't hold it against. I don't hold it against you, Mel. It is a spanner, really. It is a spanner, really. You're right. Yeah, salmon farms are contentious the world over. You fell down a bowl of stupidity into a bowl of stupidity when you were born. She forgives it. Well, we all fell into them, I think. That's why we all end up gravitating together. That's my my feels. Right. So now we're going to put some oil on our salmon. Not in the pan, guys. Not in the pan. I was a bit wary of Donna. I was thinking, if you don't do what I do with your salmon, it could get ugly, because I don't put the oil in the pan. You put it on the fish. Now, yes, salmon is already an oily fish, but you need to put a little bit of oil on it to put a barrier between the pan and the fish. But trust me, if you want crispy skinned salmon, this is the way to do it. You can get it the other way, but you'll probably have to scrape half of it off the pan as well. So I'm just going to chuck some olive oil into a little dish. Oh, little dishy for my fishy. Flip the fuckers over. Now, of course, if we're doing crispy skin, we're going to be eating it with the skin, right? But do you know, if you get salmon fillets that don't have the skin, if your pan is hot enough, the way it will cook it, it'll almost feel like it's got crispy skin, even if it hasn't. And we're just going to brush our salmon with olive oil. Now, you do want to get a bit of oil on the sides as well. I feel like I'm painting a masterpiece when I do this. Oh, speaking of masterpieces, I just started watching. I had a little afternoon, half an hour on the couch. It's become my thing with Sunny. I like a little siesta. But I put on, now I'm going to get it wrong. Is it Halston or Halston with Ewan McGregor? One episode I watched and I'm digging it. I'm digging it. I've never seen a Ewan McGregor thing I didn't like, got to say. But yeah, Halston, I think it is. It's fabulous. So fun. Liza Minnelli's in the first episode, not the real Liza. Isn't she dead? Mr. Boot has a French accent. Oh, bonjour. Oh, Grandma Ducky, you're dreaming about YouTubers? I think she does need an intervention, Mel Mel. I agree, Grandma Ducky. Salmon is a gift from God. I just found out recently that salmon are anadromous, which means they live in both. Yes, they do live in fresh and salt. No, they live in both. Deb, you here? Is Deb over on the other channel? Aussie, I have a bogan as fuck accent. It is ready for some sun tanning. You can't deal with the skin. Well, the beauty is if you cook the crap out of it, the skin peels away anyway. Yes, my beautiful friend Scotty is still in MasterChef. So is Sabina. They're both still in. I think it's down to like the top 14 maybe. I love fish as long as it doesn't taste fishy. You've been herding them. Thank you, Mel Mel. Thanks for herding. Hopefully Deb will find a way over because Deb actually chose the recipe we did last week, the kebabs. That was her choice. And then this recipe out of the three, this was the one that got the most votes, and that was the number that she randomly picked. So she's doing very well. Vinny has a new orange G, but I don't want to say that ever. Texas girl loves her catfish. I think that might be an in joke of the YouTubers, right? So we've got our beautiful salmon is all happily drizzled in oil, and then we're just going to sprinkle the sprinkle only on the flesh side up, not the skin side, just the flesh. Even if you have a skinless fillet, just do the fleshy side, not the skin side, the bum side, the top side. Just do one side, the upside. If you've got skin, the other side. If you don't have skin, when they're sitting this way, the butt side. I'm being very I'm going to use all of it. I did make enough for 4 fillets, but these are actually quite big fillets, so fuck it. We'll just chuck the whole lot in. Never have too much spicy. And there's a close-up for you groovers. Yay, Deb's arrived. We were just talking about you. I wish this camera did the colours justice because I waited to see what it looks like up close, and it's so much prettier. The camera just doesn't. Maybe I'll do a ring light or something in the kitchen next time. So the salmon is good to go. Now, this is where it's going to get tricky, guys. I'm going to disconnect my phone and I shall heat up the pan first. I'm just heating up the pan we're going to be cooking the salmon in. But remember, groovers, don't put olive oil in. And because of the size of these, I do my salmon in my mum's little Le Creuset Superstar frying pan. I'm only going to do one of them. If you've got a huge pan, do 2 at a time. Don't put all 4 in a pan together because they'll essentially just poach together. You need a bit of space between them. It does look pretty and it smells incredible. Oh, the sprinkles. So the sprinkle that I've just popped on top of the salmon is chili flakes, salt, sesame seeds, and dried mint. Just mixed it all up together and... Hey, good night, Mr. Boot. Thank you for dropping in. Great to see you here. I hope you come back. You watched a video where a guy ate fresh salmon eggs by the river. Oh, interesting. Like the pinky caviar-y stuff. But yeah, good to have you here, Mr. Boots. Hit the thumbs up on the way out if you haven't already, and please come back. I'm graduating all my cooking from Traces of Nuts over to this channel, so at least I know all of my subs are into cooking, and they're all really fucking good looking. Do you like that? Do you like that? So at the moment, I've got my Le Creuset frying pan of my mum's, which is battered and bashed and looks like crap, but it cooks beautifully. I'm heating it up, and you want your pan to be really hot. If you cook with Le Creuset or any kind of cast iron cookware, when you put it to like medium heat for a normal saucepan, that is as far as you go with Le Creuset. You don't go any higher than that. That is like super hot. The trick is to let it sit and get really, really hot on the element, but don't ever put your Le Creuset on high. I tried to make toasted sandwiches a couple of years ago, and we'd all had a few beverages, and I put it on high and then put a piece of bread. We did these gourmet toasted sandwiches, and it was charcoaled in seconds. Huge, huge, huge. Huge salmon eggs. So the pan is heating up. The spuds are coming along nicely. I'll just get my colander out. But when we do the spuds, we were talking about enamel last week. This is another one of my favourite enamel things that I own. I love this colander. I love the little green rim on it. So cute. Meanwhile, the banana bread has risen, people. You crisp your skin up with salt and pepper, salmon crackle. So you do like lemon pepper. I love lemon pepper. Grandma Ducky, I do a lot of stuff with lemon pepper. My dish looks so pretty. I love lemon pepper even in mashed potato. In fact, let's put some in the mashed potato we're making. Oh, I'm almost out. Let's get some more. This is my favourite. I'm not sponsored by Master Foods, but their lemon pepper is so good. The other lemon peppers just don't compare. But there's enough in there for me to chuck some on the mashed potatoes. I need a little knife just to check the potatoes, speaking of. Where's my little knifey? All right, we'll use this one. Oh, they're almost done. They're almost done. Let's get the salmon on. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm hoping it fits and it works. Bring it down a bit. What do you reckon, Grovers? Hopefully that's, I'm just going to check it on my, but yeah, see how rough and uneven and everything that pan is? Believe me, it doesn't matter at all. It still cooks like an absolute dream. Just going to put my phone back in so it doesn't fall into a hot pot. Hang on. What's going on? Where's Scotty when you need him? That's as far as I can get. There's a range hood in the way, and I wanted the light from the range hood, but hopefully that's so weird. Why can't I get more? There we go. Right. So like I said, I'm only going to do one of the pieces of salmon. I will cook the other one after I finish the live, but it's really just so you guys can see one of them put in action. Now the trick is, I'm going to use this piece, skin side down. And can you hear that sizzle? Because it's hot. It's hot, hot, hot. So skin side down, and don't forget it had been brushed in some olive oil, and you want that to cook for about 5 minutes on that side. checking it on my thing. Banana bread, yeah, it's good. Save the land. Good night, yet so what? 3 a.m. Holy shit. Sweet dreams. You don't even remember your hubby would eat a live cow and cake. Okay, now I'm also going to put on, it's probably not ready in the shops, in fact it isn't, but I've also got the frozen beans that I'm going to do as well. So I'm putting them on because they don't take a long time and I like them really crunchy. I did clean my stovetop before I started. All of this stuff is splotches from the potatoes. It is, I promise, I'm not joking. Move some stuff away from the kitchen bench. It is now completely full. I was starting to stack, you know, and you end up with like a tower of things. So it is stuck to buggery at the moment, but you just keep cooking it. If you don't want to cook for 5 minutes, the other way to test when it's ready is when the skin is crispy. But you don't want to pull it away too soon. Hi, Gail. Thank you for dropping in. I don't know if my phone will pick me up while I'm looking. I'm standing over at the bench reading chat at the moment, but thank you, Gail. Thank you so much for hanging out. Yeah, seafood and chicken, yum. But not only is it cold in Brizzy, but she's having trouble with her internet. It's a bad day in Brizzy. I love chicken and, well, I'm starting to eat less chicken, but I do like chicken and also salmon. Seafood. There's no room. My bench is out of control. I not only, what I really need is I need Scott with the camera and I need someone doing the dishes. I usually do the dishes while I cook, so this freaks me out that I cook everything up and then it's like, and now you have a gigantic mess to clean up. But I just watch MasterChef while I do the dishes. I've got the laptop out on my bench. 1 a.m. and Grandma Jackie needs some salmon in her life. Now the potatoes are almost done, but I want to show you how I make my world famous mashed potatoes. So I'm just leaving them in a little bit longer. We'll be swinging back over to the bench in a second. We have some salmon bits stuff in. Down to 6. Gee. Salmon's your fave. Okay. That's probably about as cooked as I like it. I like it still to be a little bit rare in the middle. So we're going to flip it over and look at that, Groovers. I fucked that up at the end. That was my fault. That would have been perfectly spread out, but it's still going to be amazing. But that's pretty crispy looking skin, Groovers. A couple of other things. It's all happening in here. So you just let it cook on that side for as long as you like it. Like I said, I like it a little bit rare still in the middle, but it's still got probably another, I reckon, 5 minutes on this side, 4 or 5 minutes. And now all of the spices are cooking. So I'm getting pops of chili and mint and sesame seeds. Delicious. But you do want to keep an eye on this side because you don't want to burn the fuck out of the top. See how already that's going quite golden? So I'm almost ready to take that off for me. But like I said, I like it quite raw in the middle. It's entirely up to you. I'm just going to strain the potatoes. And I'll turn the salmon over. The chili is chilling. And that's pretty much how I like it. So I'm just going to take that off. Pop it on a little plate. And I'm going to actually put the other piece in now as well, but I'm going to take you back over to the bench so we can get on with the mashed potato. Just remind me to... We need hide again. Shit. Action shot. Hi, everybody. Oh. Well, don't say that wasn't dramatic. Even when I work out how to edit on my computer, it's too top heavy now. I need to put some water in. This is sitting in a wine bottle. I need to put some water in it to make it heavier so it doesn't fall over. God, that was dramatic. I hope you're all okay. Ouch, I know. We all felt that. Okay, the mashed potato. I'm going to get some butter and some milk. My mashed potato is very simple, but it's loved. Chili. I need the range hood on. I'm so sorry. There'll be a bit of background noise now with that. You want to do your potatoes while they're hot. So I've literally just cooked them in salted water. Do the knife test. Chili is crazy in the kitchen. Hang on, there's another piece. Now the trick to my mashed potato, don't tell the foundation, is lashings of butter. And I'm using proper butter. It's fabulous Tasmanian butter. I usually have the block as well, but it's so easy just to take it straight out of the tub. And a little bit of milk. Don't go nuts with the milk at the start. Add milk if you need to. The chili. Okay. What did I do with my masher? Far out, guys. The chili is crazy. I'd normally do these out on the barbie, the salmon. I don't like the smell of salmon in my house the next day, but we'd be in the dark. Far out. I dropped you guys. Now I'm choking. Thank you, Mel. Falling off a cliff tonight. Hey, Geraldine. Concussion, exactly. Let's try and get the Shitty Kitty Kitchen to 800 subscribers. It'll take a few years, but we can do it. More butter and a little bit more milk. And then you're about to see elbow grease. And I'm also going to add that last little bit of lemon pepper that I had. And leave the jar on the bench so I remember to put it on my thing. Yes, I'm about to flip the salmon over too. Thank you, Grandma Ducky. Wow. I'm actually, those pots, any cast iron pots, hold that heat really well. So I've actually turned that element off now. That'll keep sizzling away for a few more minutes. All right. And what I do with my masher is I actually like do a stirring motion rather than a stir it. And it makes it so creamy and smooth. It is a bit of elbow grease, One of my exes used to come in when I was making this and he'd be like, "You're right there, chef." You know, on MasterChef, they use rices and stuff like that. That's just saving you elbow grease, but I reckon it's worth it. And that, my friends, is how you make a creamy mashed potato. And it is simple. I don't overcomplicate it with, you can put sour cream and herbs and all kinds of stuff in it. But I'm just keeping it simple. Here's a little camera shot for you. It's also going to be a taste test for me. It's absolutely perfect. I'm still choking on the chili. If I was making a mashed potato to have with a different kind of meat, I would actually put some salt in there as well. But because the salmon is really salty, I'm not going to bother. Okay, I've taken the salmon off and I've just swapped the beans over to another, back to the big element that the salmon was cooking on, because it'll heat up a lot quicker. I should have actually boiled the water earlier, but I didn't. Yeah, mustard is beautiful in it, in mashed potato. How's everyone's head injuries? Sorry, Grandma Ducky. Ruth has a big sieve and ladle. I have chili in my throat. Mel, I'm making Scotch fillet burgers with you. Oh, yum. Cheese and mash under the grill. I've never done that, Ruth. Mustard is. I love. You're bleeding, Mel, from landing that dramatic smashing around the kitchen. Does everyone need Band-Aids? Okay. Oh, I've run out. I've truly run out. No way. How did that happen? Guys, I've run out. Hey, Google, how much left on the timer? 7 minutes. These blue strips, I've run out. I'm going to leave them out too. These are fantastic in the kitchen. Why? Because very little foods are blue, unless you're Bridget Jones and you're making blue string soup. And so if a Band-Aid comes off when you're cooking, they're easy to spot. And they're really extra sticky too. They're much better than normal Band-Aids or, standard. 7 minutes on the timer. I'm just going to give the banana bread a bit of a stab, a bit of a skewer test, so that I've got a vague idea of how much longer it's going to take. Hey guys, the skewer has come out clean. So, hey Google, stop the timer. Guys, look. Chili. I'm just taking the salmon out of the pan. It's all happening here, groovers. I think the chili's dissipated enough except for my throat. So before we go gushy about the banana bread, look at the 2 bits of salmon. The lighting is shocking. Can you look at that, look at that. Beautifully cooked salmon, perfectly cooked. It does have a bit of brownage on top because all the little sesame seeds and things like that have obviously gone a bit char grilly, but it's not burnt. It's like a beautiful, shiny brown, dark brown colour. Gonna be delicious. The beans are bubbling. This little mother is almost overcooked, so I'm glad I pulled it out of the oven. And it needs to sit in the tin for 5 minutes. They keep cooking, but I'm almost tempted to take it out now because it's got a very clean skewer. I'll lift it up to you guys. Oh, it smells like banana bread. It smells so good. Again, it's not brown, like it's browned rather than burnt. It smells incredible. It does have a bit of caramelization on top. But I'm actually going to make a call on this and take it out of the tin now because they do, when recipes say leave things in tins for 5 minutes, sometimes it's for the cooling down or whatever, but they will continue to cook. So I'm just taking it out already because the skewer was super clean and I don't want it to burn. Oh, she's hot. She's hot, hot, hot. Yum. That looks really good, guys. Oh, I'll do a taste test on that in a minute too. We're just waiting on the beans. I'm just going to put a little bit of butter through the beans. The beans. Are there traces of nuts in that bread? No nuts in the bread. I've got to work on the lighting in here too, guys, because it's actually quite a pretty little loaf. But yeah, it was very close to burning. So, but it's very moist. It's moist. I can tell it's moist. We'll bring that back over in a sec. I'm going to plate up. I don't mind eating my dinner a little bit cold. Just going to do a bean test. I like my beans still crunchy. The actual shadow in here is because of my phone. If I move it, oh, hang on. There we go. It's better lighting there, right? Oh, the beans are perfect. That chili, I swear to God. It's trying to kill me. Such good winter food, though. A little bit of butter on the beans. Beans. Holy shit, that chili. Give them a little wizardy woo. Beans, the magical fruit. What is it? The more you eat it, the more you toot. Oh, cute. Tori's 42nd. 42nd, I was on 38. Wicked. Thank you, Mel, for directing traffic over this way. I appreciate it. I was only on 38 when I went live. So that's a bit exciting. All right. I'm going to do some pretty plating up. I don't know what's in the shot. There's things in the shot. That thing. Maybe that thing. Oh, good grief. Okay. That's very cute of you to do that. 42nd, that's so cute. So now we're going to plate up the salmon. Looks like my camera's not in focus now. Maybe it's got steam on it. Why is that not focused? Gordon Ramsay. What the fuck is going on here? Well, good question. All right. So to plate up, get your mashed potato. I've made enough mashed potato for 30 people. And I deliberately only tried. Now, I used Dutch cream potatoes, but you can use whatever potato you like. Then we're going to get a piece of salmon. Oh, and you can see, hopefully, where it's splitting, it's still quite pink on the inside. I know Gordon's here. Sit that there on top. Next up, we've got a little pickled onion that we made earlier. Cheers, everybody. You call that fucking taters. Ditto, especially seeing who the little emoji or avatar, whatever it is. Now, these are not going to be as pretty as Donna's, I'm afraid. But this is that little Spanish onion and dill pickle we made earlier. Just pile that up on top of it. Like I said, Donna had a side dish with a baby spinach and dill salad, but I've gone for veggies. It's a cold wintry night here in Tassie. And then lastly, just some of our green beans and butter. But the little bit of pickled onions is going to add some really sort of perky, punchy flavour, hopefully. A little bit of green beanery. There you have it, guys. Donna Hayes crispy salmon with dill pickled onions. Hopefully you'll get a decent shot of that. Where's your fucking wine? So there it is, guys. And I'm going to do a little taste test. That's my dinner. Let me just get my cutlery. That chili is going to kill me. And I desperately need to blow my nose now too. All right, Skits. So I'm going to do a little taste test, guys. Oh, guys, look at it. It's beautifully cooked. If I do say so myself. Can you see that? Gorgeous pink. Yum, yum, yum. Okay, the spice mix, the chili is definitely very present, but it's not over the top, but it is pretty punchy. But with the mint, it has a sort of double cooling effect. I'll just try a little bit with the onion pickle. Mm. Mm. Mm, 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 mm. Donald Trump, you're fired. Oh my God, you're killing me. Hi, Mandy Hall. You're fired. Oh, guys, this is beautiful. I mean, I have done it with my choice of vegetables. I did mashed potato and the green beans. Speaking of, let's have one of those. Is it duck season yet? This is beautiful. So simple. I would probably give this, I don't know, 500 out of 10. Why not? I can't fold it. And it's salmon, which I love. It's mashed potato, which I love. Grandma Ducky, yeah, you better watch out. Aussie as Fuck gives it a 500 out of 10 too. It's absolutely divine. And the seasoning, the spicy seasoning, that crunchy bit is really good. I haven't even tried the crispy skin, but it is sitting on a big piece of crispy skin down there too, which will be absolutely gorgeous as well, if you like it. If you don't, cook your fillets without the skin. Yum. That is so good. And I have got the link to the recipe in the description for this video, so I thoroughly recommend you try that. Now, last but not least, and then I'm going to enjoy my dinner while it's still relatively young. Banana bread. I go straight to the middle. Do you know why? With cakes or anything like that, cut from the middle, take your little piece out. I'm not going to eat all of this, but then you push it together and it stays moist. Everyone cuts from the end, always cut from the middle and just keep pushing it together, whether it's a round cake, a square, rectangular, whatever. Do that and it will stay moist. True story. I just need to blow my nose from the chili and I'm going to go down to my bedroom so you can't hear it. Well, you probably did, but I realised Sunny was on my bed and I didn't want to her up. Wash my hands. Okay. Get rid of the crumbs. So we've got our little banana bread that we made. This is also from Donna Hayes' book, The New Easy. I've also put the recipe in the description. And why not have something cute with it? Since it was her suggestion. I thought this would be cute. A little bottle of milk. And I just happen to have some cute straws lying around. So I've got my little bottle of milk and the banana bread. I've got a massive mess in the kitchen, but MasterChef doesn't start for a whole hour. Live chat check. Welcome, Marco. Marco Pierre White. Oh, my God, you guys are killing me. Oh, yes, a little bit of butter. Sorry. But there isn't a shitload of butter in everything. Oh, my God, where's Grandma Ducky? Where's Grandma Ducky? I'm going to use my little ducky fork. Yes, and banana bread, especially when it's cooled down with butter too. Delicious. But let's just put a bit of butter on. Because it's hot, hopefully it'll all just melt and be deliciousness. Okay. But yeah, if you serve it cold with butter, it's beautiful. Like, eat it like a bread. Plot Gordon. So there we go, guys. There's the banana bread with the butter melting away and the little ducky fork for Grandma Ducky. Right. According to Donna, this is the easiest banana bread. Let's see. Looks pretty moist, guys. That is insanely good. And it was ridiculously simple. Yum. I can't fault that at all. My little milk. Yeah, make a double batch for sure. It won't last in your household very long. You know what? This is actually, I used to love banana muffins that had the Philadelphia cream cheese and the walnut topping and everything. This is nicer than those. I like the simplicity of it. I probably would put walnuts in it next time because I do like walnuts in banana bread, but it doesn't need it. It's perfectly good without it. There's no traces of nuts tonight. Yum. That is so easy. The recipe is in the description along with the salmon, which I've now done the taste test. Oh, the banana bread, I'm going to give that, I don't know how to score it. It is the best banana bread I've ever had, I reckon. It's really light and fluffy and moist. Take some to work. I shall. I don't know if there'll be much around actually by the time we go to work, but you never know. Mel, you've got to hide the second one. Make two and hide one. Is the bread a high cholesterol? Probably. It's got flour in it. But you could use different flours. I could have used teff flour. I will start cooking with some teff, but like apparently it's quite easy to get in the UK and the US. Because I'd really like to do stuff with teff, but you can always substitute. You could do them with coconut flour, almond flour. I cook with all of those sorts of flours as well. You just need to make sure if you're going to swap out a flour with like a self-raising or a plain flour, just check the ratios because things like coconut flour, it's not a cup for a cup. So you will need to do a bit of research. So if you're saying I'm substituting plain flour with coconut flour, what does 1 cup of plain equal? They'll give you the exact measurements. But that was really, really good. It was very, very simple. I'll go back through the ingredients again and then we'll play see, I caught you that time. I caught you all. You're safe in my arms. I'm going to get all this shit out of the way. I keep trying experimenting each week with different things and not all of them are winners. All right. Let's I'll just do the rest of the ingredients for the banana bread. It's got 4 bananas, olive oil, 3 eggs, brown sugar, vanilla extract, self-raising flour, and cinnamon. But I will be doing some healthy alternatives, like some swap-out recipes in the next few weeks. And there's already on this channel, I've uploaded a really healthy, low cholesterol, I think it would be, Twix bar. Have a look at that recipe, Grandma Ducky, because it might be a little bit better. The kitchen abuse hotline. All right. Now it's time to guess the page number for what we're going to be cooking next week. And it's between page 1. Oh, the dinner will be fine. I've put it in the grill. The oven was still hot from the banana bread, so it'll be staying warm. Okay, Ruth's gone straight to 180. So I reckon we'll be in the baking section with a 180. All right, oh, shit, hang on, guys. Deb, why have you gone back to 16? That's the one we did last time. All right, so 180 is desserts. And out of the 3, one is a summer fruit recipe. Well, it's winter. Another one is a granita, which is essentially going to have to freeze for 4 hours. It's a pine lime granita, and I'm not a fan of granita in the middle of winter. The first recipe is strawberries with balsamic toffee. This is what they look like. It's summer for you, but it's not for me. I'm actually going to skip that because they're not desserts that, like the quantity I've got to make, I'm not going to eat that for like 4 nights in a row. I'm so sorry. I've had to overrule you. Just consider it like it was pork or aubergine, but I'm ignoring 16. Okay, so we've got page 28, 894. Mel, it only goes up to 189, I think. Sorry, Ruth, you can pick another number, 80. All right, cool. It's just, there's no point in me cooking something like that, making that kind of a dessert. And the toffee, it'll be impossible for me to film it. It'll be a nightmare, and I won't eat it. So first up, Grandma Ducky at page 28. So choice number 1 on page 28 is pepper steaks. Pepper steaks. Mel's is in volume 70. 1045. So this is number 1. Remember this, everybody. This is page 28 is actually the photo, and the recipe is pepper steaks. And as always, she does different ways to serve it. And I'd probably go the dinner party way. I won't just, well, maybe that way. We'll just be doing chips and pepper steaks. Okay, so remember that, everyone. That's number 1. Contestant number 1 on page 28. Deb has suggested 116. What is it with you in 16? My house is number 16. Okay, I think we're in the salad section with 116. So there's no numbers. 119, 118, 117, 116. 116 is a celery and apple salad. Who was it who hates celery? Is that you, Deb? Somebody did. It's your lucky number. Okay, so a celery and apple salad. Now, we could do I know you don't like celery, but we could do the celery and apple salad to have with the pepper steak and the chips. What do you reckon, guys? And then there's a third thing in the mix, page 80. Ruth gets page 80. Mel misses that because she was being a tweet. Oh, shoot. I reckon these are a slow cooker. Just give me a sec. I'll read the recipe. Yeah, this is a slow cooker. It's a short rib. It looks great, but it's a balsamic beef short ribs slow cooker. And to be honest, I would probably do this if I was having Scott and some other dudes over for dinner. So the hot you might have been boiled alive. Exactly. So, guys, I don't know if you even need to vote. I reckon I'll send it to you, Ruth. I'll do it. I'll make a video of it, but it's not something that I would normally, like sit down to. What has it got? 1.5 kilos, 1.6 kilos of beef short ribs in a slow cooker. Like, that's very much a dinner party with lots of dudes. But I'm thinking that we'll just do the peppered steak. Now I've got to find that again. What was it, 38? No, that was tonight. Hang on. I think we should do the pepper steaks. I know you've got books too, but we'll do the pepper steaks and the chippies and do the tomato and celery. Oh, Mel, a late comer. And I was going to say, and do the tomato and celery salad because that actually looks amazing. But let's see what 28 is. Well, that is 28. Oh, you were telling me the page number. Thank you, Mel. God, she's good. So next week, we're going to be doing peppered steaks with, now I normally cook steak out on my barbecue, so this will be interesting because we'll be cooking it indoors. But we'll do the peppered steaks, the potato chippies, and a celery and apple salad. Sounds groovy, going to go. I do want to eat my salmon before it gets too cold. You sent a message. Bless you. I've put my daggy little post-it note. I think we're almost due a new post-it note here. Well, it's still sticking, so soldier on. Guys, thanks for hanging out. Thank you for surviving not one but two terrible falls, at least the second time I caught you all because I love you. Thank you, Mel, for directing people over to this channel. And it was very, very exciting to do my first live on the Shitty Kitty Kitchen channel. But this has got my name on it, so I'm going to dig in and, yeah, bring your own Band-Aids. BYOB. I love you guys so much. Thank you for hanging out with me. Happy eating, and yeah, we'll stick with this Donna Hay book for a little bit longer, and then we'll move on and cook another book. We might go back to more kind of healthy alternatives for a little while as well, just to mix things up a little. Not that this isn't healthy. This was made with love. All the food is on this channel. Until next time, stay groovy, everyone. I love you heaps, and enjoy the rest of your weekend. And enjoy MasterChef if you're in Australia. Go Scotty and go Sabina. Love you guys.